Good evening, speed running fans. Welcome to the third round of the 100% Super Metroid Community Tournament. My name is Professor School. I am joined here today on co-commentary by Kev Nastics. Kev, want to go and say hi to the folks tonight?
Yeah, hi everybody. Hi, Professor School. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm really excited for tonight's match. I can't wait to see another great Super Metroid Hundo match.
Absolutely. We got a good one tonight. We have ARealCutie and Hero82 going to be kicking us off right in the middle of this third round. We're going to be getting started just a minute here.
That sounds great. So how many rounds have we watched? How many matches have gone on already? We're in the top 16 now, right?
Yeah, we're playing in for that final 8. We got some money on the line now from that $2,250 prize pool you see in the top right corner of your screen. We're getting ready to start this race off.
I'm getting pretty excited for the match. Who does the winner of this race go up against next?
Yeah, so taking a look at the schedule here, looks like the winner of this race is going to face the winner of an earlier race tonight that finished around 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Oats and Goats was a winner with about a 4-minute race time victory over Azulino T03. So we're going to see whether ARealCutie or Hero82 can join Oats in that semifinal matchup.
Well, I know that's definitely going to be an exciting round. I think Oats is one of the favorites to make it all the way to that last set of 4 racers. So I would say, who would you say would be favored over this match tonight?
Well, let's take a look at the qualifying times here. We get a little bit of information about our runners. ARealCutie came in with a qualifying time of 1:17:42 and actually started the tournament with a PB of 1:17:51. But since then has actually brought that time down about 70 seconds to a current PB of 1:16:40. So Cutie really making a lot of progress throughout the course of this preparation. Hero coming in with a very strong qualifying time of 1:24 and currently sitting just a little bit under that in the high 1:23s for their PB. So we have 2 strong runners. I would say that Cutie is certainly the favorite in this race. But as we know, anything can happen in Hundo. We've had already a very volatile tournament. So we'll just have to wait and see how the next 80 minutes or so go.
All right, so I think we should be live here pretty soon. Can you see the race on your feed, Professor?
Yeah, we're just refreshed SpeedGaming 2 here. We see the runners in this first obligatory fight with Ridley. This is just going to be something they're going to get through and move on to the back end of Series Station here, as we see both of our runners making their way through this escape.
Oh, perfect. I finally got the match up on my computer.
All right. Got a question in chat here. Hero's PB in Hundo right now from about 5 months ago, so I can't confirm it's the most up-to-date, but looks like 1:23:41. Hero actually has been running down some times really nicely in some other games, doing a little bit of Ninja Gaiden, doing a little bit of DuckTales, a little bit of Chippendales, and now coming back in to qualify and take one of these 48 coveted spots in the Super Metroid 100% tournament.
So when I hear the name Hero, it reminds me of the hero shot at Red Tower. Is this the Hero responsible for that strat?
No, I don't think that it is, but Hero
No? Okay.
certainly, Hero and Cutie certainly, the both of them, strong contributors to our community, both active on the Discord, always have a fun streams to sit in, and I think Cutie especially too has been doing some real innovation of some strats recently for Hundo. So I think we're really going to have a treat here from these 2 very talented runners tonight.
I have actually never seen Cutie run Hundo. I've seen Cutie run any percent, and we know that they're one of the highest ranked any percent players. So it's going to be really interesting to watch Cutie in a Hundo match. I didn't get a chance to see too many of the earlier races.
Well, Kev, I got to tell you, you are in for a treat, as are all of our fans here in the chat and watching from home. Yeah, Cutie has been blazing some really wonderful times the last couple weeks here. So really looking forward to this race between Hero and ARealCutie.
I like Cutie's attitude toward it in the chat on the Discord. You know, a PB is still a PB, even if it's a small margin.
That's right. Cutie famous for saying you never want to PB by too much.
That's exactly that's what I was trying to come up with. I like that phrase.
So we see our runners now descending down into Blue Brinstar, picking up their very first item. Folks, get ready to hear that item fanfare jingle. You're going to be hearing it an awful lot, full 100 times. And between door transitions and item fanfares, we're going to get nearly 30 minutes of this run dedicated to that. So buckle in for those.
That's pretty excellent. Don't forget about the Edikun, so it's 101 fanfares.
That's right. That's right.
They're going to sing it there. You had them both doing the down back strat to go get the missiles, and now we're going to make our way over to the climb. Do you know which climb each racer prefers?
You know, I'm fairly certain that Cutie is going to be doing the wall jump climb, and I actually don't remember what Hero mains right now. I've seen him do both of them. Looks like Cutie's setting up for this wall jump climb here. Sure enough. Nice
Those are
down
pretty
back.
Tight, nice wall jumps.
Yep, a nice down back gap skips there, or gap skips I should say, for Hero coming through pitless room.
Oh, a little trouble for Hero at the beginning of the climb. That room can really, really mess up the start of your game.
Yeah, just a little bit of trouble for Hero here on the climb. But cleans the room up nicely and makes his way up into Parlor. Let's see, he's going to do a left side Parlor strat here, and already having a much nicer, cleaner room here. Finding a stride and hopefully picking things up going into Bomb Chorizo.
So I would imagine that Cutie would get a real fast kill on Bomb Chorizo. And Hero is still going to be really close to a 5-minute bombs time, which is a pretty solid bombs time, even with the mistakes at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Cutie got a real good missile spread on that, and just like that, Bomb Chorizo's gone, and just as Cutie's leaving, here goes Hero with their fight with Bomb Chorizo.
Yeah, Cutie had a little bit of a rough time there on the back end of that fight, and fortunately was able to leave with full health and ammo, and executing a really beautiful right side Alcatraz there. That's really nice. And
that is a really, really nice looking. I think, does Zenny do that same strat? You don't see a lot of right wall Alcatraz.
Yeah, Zenny definitely one of those other runners that uses right side Alcatraz there. Optimally done, it's just a little bit faster.
So that is one of my favorite parts of the game, when you see how each racer likes to navigate their way through a room. And some of the most exciting races to me are whether there's different routing decisions, or, you know, the match is close enough so that you can see how their strats match up room to room. I think that's a really exciting part of the game.
Yeah, Zos pointing at in chat here, Cutie probably pretty unhappy with that BT fight. For sure, I can understand the frustration there. But, you know, it's a long race. We've got a lot to look forward to, and fortunately with almost 350 rooms that these runners will be making their way through, there's plenty of room to continue to gain time back here from some of those early mistakes.
So Cutie lined it up right, and looks like they did. Damage boost back, right down there. Go down and get the reserve tank. I like how the beginning of the game, you're working on wall jumps, and then you're working on your mock ball and some of your damage boost. And these first couple rooms, it really sets up the game really nicely. Get you warmed up with your technique, and it's kind of a slow build to some of the more difficult strats we'll see later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this is the part where the route really starts to diverge from the other main categories. Normally, we're going to come in here, we're going to do this early supers mock, and just grab the one super pack that you saw on the left side of the previous room. But of course, in 100%, we want to collect all 100 of those items. So the runners are going back behind the early supers to pick up this reserve tank and those 2 missile packs.
Yeah, good reserve escape from Cutie. Let's see if Hero can get it. It's really tight mock ball.
Oh, nicely done there. Yeah, absolutely. I was a little worried about Hero's speed coming into that. Didn't get all the momentum that I might have wanted coming out of that room, but managed to pull it off and is back down to the rest of Green Brinstar now.
That was a nice Kago there on that mock ball from Cutie. So one of the quickest. I think that's the quickest way through the room.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple ways to handle that. A lot of runners opt for the older golden mock ball strat, where you actually don't mock ball until after coming into the Decora room. But it's actually optimal to jump through that door to fix that transition. And doing that, you can actually save somewhere between 10 and 15 frames usually. Certainly when you're at that top level, you're trying to shave off those frames in every single room. Over the course of an hour and 20-minute run or so, that's going to really add up, those 5, 10, 15 frames in every room. So I really got to admire those runners for being able to find all those ways to squeeze time out of this run.
So far, both of them having a really great Green Hill zone. Cutie's making their way down Red Tower. Go get Spazer. Why does Spazer get so much hate? I'd like to know about that. I'm actually a big fan of Spazer. I still use it my any percent route. I like the extra power in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I think Spazer's gone by the wayside recently, but certainly there's still a lot of really good runners that are posting very solid any percent times using Spazer, especially in old route. And of course, new route runners are absolutely picking up Spazer. So you'll see this for all the Fantoon first runners.
So in Hundo, I guess there's a couple times you can menu off Spazer if you're going to be doing X Factor strats later. We could potentially see some X Factor strats at Fantoon, at Dragon.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I know that Cutie is definitely running the late Croc route, so you're going to see a missile Fantoon fight there.
Okay, nice.
I actually have not spent much time recently looking at Hero's Hundo prep, so I'll have to wait until Hero makes that decision about lower or upper Croc, or later or early Croc, I should say, unless someone in chat can correct me and has spent time in Hero's races recently.
Fortunately, it won't be too long before we find out. So they're both making their way into Kraid's lair. Cutie on the way to what I imagine would be a very quick kill.
Yeah, so you see Cutie there setting up that standardized bomb setup to get just in that right position. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes getting these missiles in for this Kraid quick kill, but you're going to see Cutie execute 2 missiles here. The first one opens Kraid's mouth, the second one actually contacts for 100 damage, and then those 3 supers doing 300 damage each finishes off Kraid, as you see, before I can even finish explaining it.
I've actually just switched over to the 2 missile strat. I used to use 3, and of course we've seen a lot of people use Charge Beam for the Kraid quick kill. Different setup from Hero.
Yeah, it looks like Hero is... I have to be honest, I'm actually not 100% sure about the efficacy of using that Spazer to shoot those stones coming up. I know the intention is for lag reduction, but my understanding is actually that the biggest lag in that room that creates the variability in the Kraid fight has to do with particles that are off screen, which is why wave beam or power bombs is actually the most useful in that case to reduce lag.
That's pretty neat. You know, all these different ways people have found to cut time and save a few frames here and there. And I'm always fascinated to hear about all that stuff. It's very, very foreign to me, but it's really amazing how people have found all these differences and ways to save time.
So Kev, I know you run some any percent. Are you running Hundo right now too as well, or are you sort of putting a pause on that?
To be honest, I've actually been spending most of my time running Hundo. It's my favorite category. I mean, I like any percent. It's very challenging. It's very, very dangerous. You know, but I've just had some I've got a really good PB for myself. I just hit a 55, and I've been struggling to get any lower than that. Meanwhile, Hundo, on the other hand, I've been able to cut time very drastically over the last 3 weeks or so, or the last month. So I'm still kind of sticking with that. I really just, the tournament is getting me really interested in it. It's getting more and more fun. I'm starting to become more aware of all these little optimizations that I've seen in these races from these top players, and it's making the game it's just making the game much more enjoyable for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you really sort of nailed it on the head right there, Kev. Is this Hundo tournament has absolutely lit a fire under the community with regards to 100% category. There's just a whole host of people PBing day after day. We're seeing stuff going up on the Discord. We're seeing the leaderboards have all these folks bringing their times down. I think it's been great for the community, and for all you Hundo fans out there. I know that this is a really exciting time to be watching and playing some Super Metroid.
Well, I think it was really great in the Discord when a lot of people were posting their personal best, throwing pictures up in the community section, and a lot of people, I can't remember who was the first one to said it, but like, hey, do we need a PB brag page, where you guys can do this, and so I feel like in the last couple months that was something pretty new, and I would say that it's continuing to increase how well everybody plays because they want to show, a new update. Look, I cut my time. So it's very, very motivating to see so many people having a great time with this game, playing very, very well, and also being respectful of players that, maybe aren't as fast as some of the other racers, but they've noticed that they've been spending a lot of time on the game and dropping their time, and it really feels like everybody's in it together.
Absolutely. I see Cutie having a little bit of struggle there in Bubble Mountain, getting hecked by those waivers a little bit, and then going for a backup on right side Bubble Mountain. Gosh, I can't imagine running right side Bubble Mountain as a backup strat, but that's Cutie for you. We're going to see Hero try a little something different here. Going to go for this pseudo screw, take out that waiver, take out King Cac, and then missile through the door.
Yeah, that right side wall jump is really, really difficult to get far enough away from the wall yet still move upward. So nice quick farm from Cutie. He only needed one. They have 5 supers, good super count, good missile count, try and make way over to Wave Beam.
Yeah, and my co-commentator pointing out how supportive the community's been. For those of you watching along who've considered running some Super Metroid, we have a great community here. We're always happy to invite people in and show them the ropes, teach them strats. Definitely invite you to come in, and if you enjoy watching, that's great. If you want to participate, I think that'd be awesome too. We'd love to have you.
I think one thing worth mentioning, just seeing Hero come out of speed over there, the way the racers will try to line up the door and try to line up the camera so it's a quicker door transition. So I notice, a lot of times players will jump through the door at varying heights. I mean, does every door in the game have an optimal position to fix the camera?
You can certainly make those adjustments to fix those door transitions, but actually one great example is we just saw Hero coming into to double chamber here. That's actually one of those rooms where a lot of runners will opt to run straight through that door and not fix the transition in order to do something like maintain momentum going into the next room. So a lot of those decisions that are made for, why a runner runs a certain strat, they're usually very calculated decisions, especially at the level that you're watching tonight. Both of these runners go through each room time and time again, and they make very specific decisions about why they want to run certain strats.
I do love that what you do in one room has, either a cause or effect on the other room. Again, like you said, to maintain momentum, like we just saw that speedball from Cutie, through the door to get, into the ice room, which that was pretty cool. And it looks like Hero is going down to Croc, so we will have 2 different routes, and that'll be pretty exciting.
A little bit of a hiccup there on the ice escape, but Cutie able to turn around and clean that up nicely and manages to mock under that gate. Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, as Kevnastics pointed out, we have a route divergence, and Hero is going to be going down for this croc fight. Certainly some big differences in the two routes. We'll talk about some of the health management issues that go into the late croc route. This early croc route is frustrating, at least for me personally. You can see a couple swipes here. Maybe that's the fourth set of swipes that's Croc's given Hero. This is that RNG-based swipe movement is definitely one of the more frustrating things that you can encounter in this early croc route.
Yeah, I can absolutely see how that's frustrating. I kind of like the break a little bit, but when Croc starts doing too many swipes and you're sitting there trying to get a good time, it can really ruin your early game. Oh wow, that was cool. Cool way to make it up Red Tower from Cutie. I've seen a lot of different ways this tournament to make it up Red Tower.
Was that Hero grabbing that spike suit there? I think he actually was mentioning this recently. Hero likes to use that spike suit to get back up across. Gosh, which room did he say it was? It's not typical to see that spike suit in the early croc route.
So first for me.
Yeah, so he's going to try to hold on to this spike suit, and I think he's actually going to try to use it to go diagonally across the room where you normally do that Indiana Jones strat. I'm not feeling as comfortable with that one, and is going to try to use that spike suit later on to speed that room up coming out of grapple.
Now, if I remember correctly, you have to jump a specific way and you have to move a specific way so you don't set that spark off early, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Essentially, anything that would normally trigger a shine spark is going to do so and blow your spike suit.
So, got to be very careful here for that. Little wall jump to get the missile. And then next is gravity. I'm sorry, grapple beam.
And there you go.
There's
Hero using that spike suit. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a really clever use of that. If you're not comfortable with those pre-grapple strats, that's certainly one way to go. I love seeing these runners innovate new ways to get through these rooms. And Hero, particularly, very practical runner and likes to come up with neat ways to keep pushing the category and to be more consistent.
That was definitely the first time I've ever seen that strat used. That was really cool. All right, Cutie's gonna spark over the ocean, head down to Fantoon. We're gonna start seeing what patterns we can expect from Fantoon, either fast, medium, or slow. So that could affect time for Cutie's route. Cutie in the chat says, "One day I'll play well. That day is not today."
Yeah, Cutie being a little hard on himself, but I think that's part of the measure of success of a lot of these top runners. Always pushing harder for those better times and that stronger consistency. We'll remind everyone in chat. Go ahead and follow those runners. They're putting on a really great show for us today, committing themselves to the practice for these tournaments. And definitely want to go ahead and throw them a follow if you haven't already.
Yes, definitely. I'm definitely going to follow both of these racers after watching this. I'm pretty excited about what I see right now, and I can absolutely understand Cutie being a little frustrating if the movement is not exactly what they're looking for, because there are, all the top racers are here. There's a big prize pool out there for this tournament, and so many racers are hungry to win it, and I think it's going to be really, really hard to get into that top 4. I mean, I think the PBs for everybody in the top 6 are separated by, just between 2 minutes. If even 2 minutes, it's really close to the top 6.
Absolutely, and
really quick fight.
Cutie, who I think has definitely been tagged by a lot of other runners in this tournament as one of those folks in that top 5 or 6 that absolutely has the capacity to break into that final 4 matchup, just demonstrating some of that skill there, handling a beautiful 2-round Fantoon, no problem whatsoever, and now moving on to what is one of the more dangerous parts of the run here, the post-Fantoon wrecked ship. You see that Cutie with just the 3 energy tanks you already have, because of the route divergence, Hero going up to wrecked ship with 4 energy tanks. And that's going to be really one of the biggest differences here in terms of managing health, going through the spiky room of death and making sure to manage health also through the gauntlet spark.
I really like that room that Cutie just did. Very efficient movement, no movement wasted at all. Just really clean getting through the room. Every single jump, every single shot has a purpose.
Seeing some nice strats on both sides. Had a nice mock ball over the Vile Plumes there for Hero on your right side, collecting those Alpha Power Bombs. And Cutie doing a nice job with that Spark exit from that Super Missile pack. Now making his way through Spiky Room of Death.
Ooh,
down here at yeah, and there's some stuff in the reserves there, and we got an energy tank coming, but certainly want to be careful here for sure.
Well, if anybody saw the match last night, there was a really wild Phantoon and wrecked ship, and I'm hoping I don't have to have flashbacks here with this health, but I'm pretty confident Cutie's not going to have any trouble making it across here. That looked absolutely effortless.
Yeah, and I really like that strat. There's some runners that opt for the single bomb jump. I find the timing on that one just a little bit too unreliable, and that double bomb jump there is definitely, I think, the most reliable way to grapple-less that room.
I have seen a couple other racers use the slower strat where you turn off the high jump boots so you can get a little bit more horizontal movement on your jump without banging into the ceiling, but that's obviously slower, and that's definitely not going to cut it for these racers.
Yeah, that turning high jump boots off there is... It starts to get to the point, depending on the decisions you're making, where it might defeat the purpose of running that late croc route. Optimally, I think Zost actually timed it out. Maybe a couple other people have done this as well. You hear the number 20 seconds thrown around. It's a little bit difficult to really count on things like what croc RNG is going to be like in early croc versus how fast the fight is in late croc. There's obviously a lot that goes into making that decision, but I think menuing full items like that can definitely be one of those things that makes it harder to actually gain time using the slightly faster late croc route.
Absolutely, that was a beautiful, beautiful addict by Cutie. Just missed one of those enemies, and but really, really clean. And Hero just picking up the spooky missiles, making his way down to Phantoon, and I hope to see a Phantoon fight that was just as good as Cutie's.
Yeah, and Zo's pointing out in the chat that C. Scotty W, another one of those really talented runners that entered this tournament, another person that I certainly pegged for having a really strong chance to break into that top 4, and unfortunately having a really tragic death in a really bizarre situation that I only seen once previously, with some horrific chain damage to the end of that Mother Brain 1 fight. I can completely commiserate with that. I actually bowed out of this tournament on some horrific chain damage to Dragon in the first round against Keku, so I completely understand and relate to that. It feels bad to end a tournament on that kind of note.
Well, Professor, that was one of the races that I saw, and after Keku, he died in I think it was Spiky Room of Death, and I'm like, all right, so the Professor's got this, and nobody sees that much chain damage coming. I mean, you get to Dragon with that much health, and Hundo, you feel very confident that it's not going to be a problem. So when I was like jaw dropping when I saw that happen. Now, how do you get chain damage on Mother Brain 1? I did not see that one.
Yeah, I'll leave that to chat to describe the intricacies of it, but I think it has to do essentially with the specific frame when the scene shifts from Mother Brain 1 to Mother Brain 2. In the meantime, our runners are doing a nice job here. Hero cleaning up Phantoon with nary a problem, and Cutie, unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble, was going for that robot flusher strat, and was not able to clean those out. Looks like the power bomb was a little bit high too. So a little bit of a time loss there for sure, but still has probably a comfortable lead over Hero at this point. just based on execution alone.
Conserving a little health for that spark up there, so keeping in mind that we still have Gauntlet Spark coming up. Hero did a really great job in the East Supers room. He's going to make his way to West Supers. And Cutie is on the way to Gravity, which makes Meridia much faster. So I really like this whole next section of the game. Most of the major damage is done once you get through Spiky Room of Death, which we're, Hero is on his way to Spiky Room of Death now. But Cutie is basically out of the danger of, dying at this point. The really chaotic section of the game is done, and now we're going to Gauntlet.
Hero making his way cleanly through Spiky Room of Death there. Cutie still has a little bit of energy management here to do. There's still this spark getting up to the top of the Criteria power bombs, and then making it through that Criteria power bomb room. So you can actually see Cutie actually specifically recognizing the health issue here, and rather than sparking up from the ship, deciding to go to the top of this mountain here. Gosh, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
If Cutie doesn't get the spark, I guess the only other way would be to bomb jump up there, but no need.
Yeah, I have not been counting on the energy going into Cutie's reserve, so hopefully he has a good sense of what he has there. You need about 230 or so health to get all the way through Gauntlet with the spark. You can do it with a little bit less and come up short. So it's going to be a little bit tight here. Cutie manages to get out the back end here of this Criteria power bombs without any issue. So we'll see. It'll be a little bit close.
There's been some close calls already in the tournament with health with the Gauntlet Spark and Yapping Maw. I think one racer might have actually gotten grabbed. So hopefully Cutie doesn't have any trouble. So looks like Cutie's going to be fine.
Yeah, going through the door above 100 should be totally fine. Perfectly set up, and now going to go for this backside Gauntlet Spark.
Talk about a super, super tight Gauntlet Spark. Sure, I'm sorry, the back Gauntlet Spark is super tight window for that.
Yeah, I mean, typically speaking, especially for these top runners, the notion of doing a stutter 3-tap is not particularly the challenging thing. It's just gauging where Samus is coming through that door and adjusting your final tap accordingly, and that can really, really be tricky. Oh, a beautiful attic coming back through for Hero there. That was just like lovely blue speed coming through, clearing that room fast, and progressing onto these Sky and Maze missiles. Yeah, we have some lovely execution here from Hero on the right side of your screen.
So, and Hero and Cutie both had a different strat to get that missile. Hero opted for the Shine Spark up there, and Cutie did the long jump. Cutie making their way down to Green Brinstar, down to Edicoons. I always like it when we get back to that music again. That's my favorite soundtrack in the game, so every time I just like coming back to that area. It feels like coming home. It's an early part of the game. It's got a nice soundtrack. Lay down the power bomb, and maybe another moonfall here. Definitely saving some time dropping down the shaft.
Yeah, you gotta play with Moonwalk on. I don't know who wouldn't.
I gotta tell you, I do not do Moonwalk. I tried. See, I didn't even know Moonwalk was a feature when I started playing. So I'd already played for a while before I had heard about Moonwalk. So by the time I tried it, it was just too difficult to adjust, and I don't know. I mean, it looks really cool. Maybe one day. I love those damage boost strats, just flying through those spiky rooms really, really quick. You see that in Hellways down there, down with the Edicoons. It's just really, really, it's really exciting to see these guys boost their way through all these rooms.
Yeah, now we see a nice fast alternative for the early Croc runners getting through this robot room. Getting those shots off and laying that power bomb to break that chorizo statue. And then easy spark up here and grab the reserve tank.
So it also looks like Hero's going to have plenty of health going up to his gauntlet spark. I wouldn't imagine there'd be a problem there. So, and Cutie will be up for Mission Impossible next, and then the Spore Spawn Supers, which skips a really, really long fight. There's the setup, and it looks good. Cutie's through that block. And Hero on the way to the ocean missiles. I would imagine these missiles right now that Hero picked up would be something that beginners would forget about very often. Oh, nice Cutie. Would you call that a speed keep strat? That Cutie just did entering this E-Tank room?
No, I don't think so necessarily. Heck, moonwalk. Yeah, there we go. Sloters wasn't listening, otherwise he probably would have called me out immediately for making fun of no moonwalk players.
Yeah. There we go. If Hero has a good room, there's going to be no problem with help for the Gauntlet Spark. Cutie's through the back door into these Spore Spawn missiles. There are a couple different places you can stand in order to shoot the super through and knock that block out of the way. I always get nervous when I get to that section, you know, do I have enough supers? Because I am not 100% accurate yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty precise setup for sure. You see Hero going there for that Gauntlet Spark. Much easier managing that health in the early croc route. As you saw, Hero was able to do that spark up to the sky missiles just after wrecked ship, and was also able to spark across to that Criteria power bombs. A lot less concern coming into Gauntlet here. But now Hero will be making his way down for his pink Brainstar cleanup, and then off to Meridia after that.
So Hero also turned out Various suit to save a pause later on, and did Hero yep, and just wave beam. So I'm guessing that's for the setup for Dragon later.
That's right, and turning off Varia actually makes it a little bit safer and easier later on to do the stand-up glitch.
Absolutely. So, and with Gravity suit, you know, going to still have protection in the heated rooms. There's Cutie laying that power bomb up there to get that door into Blue Brinstar, so saves a little bit of time. It's a little more optimal to do that right there, open the door, so you can just shoot it open later and not have to lay a power bomb. Nice boost through that room from Hero.
Yeah, really, really nice job there by Hero. Breaking out some really clean strats here.
I love the conservation of momentum. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with the D-pad when you're playing that can just halt Samus right away. You know, so trying to get a morph ball in the air while you're jumping and getting it to continue to move forward is much, much more difficult than it looks. And these racers are making it look just absolutely easy. All right, Cutie is heading to Meridia. We're going to see a short charge here to get the missiles. Very nice. I also use that block. I don't do a short charge, but that block that Cutie was right before they hit their spark, that's a really good place to make sure that you don't miss that.
That's right. Tight little window there. A couple ways to do that charge. You can certainly go a little bit higher up in that room. It's about 2 seconds slower to go up to the upper platform, but it's definitely a bit of a safer approach to that strat. And now we see Cutie making his way over into Mama Turtle. Nice vertical shine spark, and now setting up for what can be sometimes a tricky missile pack sitting over in the wall. Got to get that timing just right on this charge shot. And there it is. No problem whatsoever.
I saw a really cool strat from Mr. Guy Average earlier this week where he got the missiles first and then used the grapple beam, to jump over and get the E-tank. And both strats are really, really good. But the advantage to that one that MGA did is that you don't have to go back up and get the missiles again if you miss them. Whereas with Cutie's strat, there's the potential that you can't be that you're falling, at the wrong angle and you'll have to jump back up for those missiles. Tricky item.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, Hero's going to have that option, having grapple in his inventory. And chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually think that grapple strat is the optimal way to do that room if you actually have grapple in your inventory.
But of course, you'd have to be doing Hero's route. You'd have to be doing the early croc route if you were going to use that strategy.
Yeah, and some shout outs for MGA in chat. We've had a really fantastic tournament so far. MGA posting a big win over Kip just in this third round here to advance to those final 8. Maybe one of the best, if not the best match in the tournament that I've seen so far. It was only a 10 or 12 second differential.
I think it was 12 seconds.
Yeah, it just an incredible race, back and forth the whole way. And Kip actually sharing some beautiful strategy going into that race on his channel the other night. Was going for consistency, actually went in, studied how aggressive MGA was being, decided to pull out a bunch of his more risky strats and go for consistency. So as you can see, even at this top level, there's a lot of different ways that you can go after this game. There's a lot of rooms, there's a lot of ways to decide how you're going to attack it. And I find that one of the most rewarding parts of running this game is just how many different ways you can be intelligent about attacking these races.
Well, the way Cutie just attacked that room with the mock ball out, that's such a tight jump, really impressive, and just flying down. So impressive how quickly he's moving. Yeah, I saw the Kip and the MGA. I saw that race. I watched it twice, just because I was blown away by not just how exciting the match was, but just how close. There were so many lead changes throughout the race, and just watching two experts at their craft. Cutie and Hero right now are having a really great match. Nice X Factor strat right there from Cutie. X Factor and then 6 supers and Batoon is gone. Not a bad pattern, not the worst pattern you can get there. Oh, blown spark by Hero. How do you feel about Meridia, Professor?
Well, given the way that I bowed out of this tournament, I've currently got Meridia. I've certainly got Meridia sort of on my bad list right now. But I'll tell you what, this is right in the middle, right in the heart of this run. It is very technically challenging. There's a lot of demanding sections to this Meridia segment, and can really break up momentum. So to be able to see Cutie attack these rooms with these strats and keep things moving forward is actually really wonderful to see.
So Meridia, the more I play, the more it becomes a really fun section for me. I used to really hate the Dragon section, and it gets easier over time. I like the calm. There's so much calm and foreboding in Meridia, and then you get to the Dragon fight, and it's big and it's exciting and it's wild, and I think it's one of the most challenging fights to first start. When you're starting off, it's just not knowing how am I going to kill this thing. I keep blasting with ammo. It doesn't seem to go down. And then you have your more aggressive strategies here with the Shine Spark kill, which that was a very, very fast and very well executed kill by Cutie.
Oh, and first chance spike suit, no problem. Beautiful execution there by Cutie. I should point out, though, we had some sweet strats on the right side of your screen there. Hero, just before entering Meridia, pulling off Blockbuster. I continue to be impressed by all of the things that Hero has shown us today from that early croc route. Lots of fun. Really, really good stuff here.
Boy, your eye is faster than mine. I'm so impressed by racers like Cutie that can pull off that really, really quick Dragon match, because that is a fight that can just drag on and drag on. Perfect name, Dragon. I can't tell you how many fights I've done that seemed like they were never going to end. So just to see, oh, good thing Hero had that grapple beam. Did you see that?
Yeah, no worries. I forgot for a second what route Hero was running, and I thought he was going to have to go back and retry that spark. Yeah. But no problem at all. Going for that grapple grab, and easy peasy moving on for Hero.
Cutie got the Batoon E-Tank pretty early here, the first time coming down. I know he didn't get it after Batoon, but I don't know. I usually see racers will get it on the next pass through, but that's the great thing about Meridia is you got a couple chances to decide when you want to pick up these items. Like Cutie could pick up the Aqueduct items right now, but we'll come back later as he heads down the East Sandpit here.
Yeah, for the Batoon E-Tank, it actually doesn't matter when you pick it up. A lot of the decisions about East and West Sandpit here are actually made based on the fact that you're going to be picking up the Spring Ball item just here in a moment. And that Spring Ball gives you a little bit more freedom of movement and lets you execute some of these strats just a little bit faster.
So hopefully Hero remembers to go up here to go get Sandpit Supers and the missiles up here. Nice D-boost. All right, so here comes the ice clip. What on earth was that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways that you can set up that ice clip. One of them is to have that camera locked in place and then go for a standardized setup where you freeze that Puyo and then drop through them, freeze the other Puyo just in the right place based on that standardized setup, and then be able to clip up. So there's a couple runners that run it that way. Hodarubi is one, for example. Definitely a couple different ways to set that up. I know that certainly folks might be used to seeing the camera scroll where you go straight up for that Puyo and freeze it in place after getting damaged. And there's even variations on that. Zos, for example, I think does something where he space jumps over to the right and then comes back left. I believe that's to standardize his speed coming up into that ice clip. So lots of different ways to do that for sure. The important thing is that you get it and you get it quickly. Definitely.
Yeah, there was absolutely no trouble there. I mean, it looked, incredibly well rehearsed, which, everything they're doing was really well rehearsed. Yeah, I had the pleasure of commentating 2 Zos matches and, watching his ice clip. It's just great. It's pretty easy to get caught in the sand coming down out of that room. So which setup do we think Hero is going to use for his X Factor on Batoon?
Yeah, it looks like this is the decalled setup here.
Decalled.
Yep. Oh, and beautifully executed. All 4 of those particles centering right on Batoon. 6 super missiles, no problem. Snek dead.
All right, Cutie is making their way up to Plasma, which I've always heard described as a very awkward room. There are a couple different ways to do this room. Sometimes you see somebody lay a power bomb. There's a couple different ways to take out these pirates. This is the first time I've seen the room done that way. That was pretty cool.
Well, I'll tell you why that was the first time you saw it done that way, Kev. This is one of those rooms that has gotten a huge overhaul recently. There are a lot of folks that have been coming up with some incredible strats for that room. We're seeing times down in the 9-second range now for that room, which is unbelievable. And I think it was Hodarubi originally has come up with some very difficult but interesting strats for that plasma room, both with and without ice, which is applicable to both routes. And then Cutie went ahead and simplified a couple things and still managed to get some beautifully fast strats in that room. So you're really seeing a poetry in motion in that plasma room now with some of those new strats that Cutie's come up with.
And that Cack Alley was incredible. Fairly quick drag-on fight from Hero.
I looked over too late. Maybe chat can correct me. Was that a successful spike suit, or did we get the bad frame there for Hero?
I couldn't tell either, Professor.
Well, we'll find out in a minute here whether or not Hero's sparking across Coliseum, going back across over here.
We have Zo's calling Hoda Ruby the instigator, and Vladaya saying Hoda Ruby is a legend. I think that was also a very exciting part about the tournament, was just hearing the name Hoda Ruby. When I first started getting into Super Metroid, I remember watching Summoning Salt's documentary on the progression of the world record, and that was the first time I'd heard the name Hoda Ruby. And, you know, watching some of his early runs and seeing a lot of the strategies that people still use now were things that he had developed. And now he's back into Super Metroid and running in a tournament is, you know, adds a little extra special exciting to this this tournament.
It sure does. Nice bomb boost there from Cutie going across these sandpit items. Yeah, I totally agree with the chat. Zo's saying the same thing. It's great having Hoda Ruby around. This is a guy who at one point had the world record in every major category in this game some 12 years ago. And I know I've said this before on comms, but a lot of racers, you know, they start running any percent. They set that sub-hour goal or that sub-50-minute goal. I started running just the start of this year here, and I set that 49.25 that Hoda Ruby set in any percent KPDR as my goal time. And when I finally eclipsed that, and I'll tell you what, that was special. Definitely an innovator, and as Zos points out, maybe also an instigator in our community. No, I'm kidding, of course. Hoda Ruby's wonderful, and we're very happy to see him in this tournament.
All right, so Cutie is at Kraid's Lair, got the Kraid's Lair missiles. So now we're heading to one of the more exciting parts of the run, heading down to Lower Norfair, which I think everybody really enjoys all the strats that we're going to see. Some really cool spring ball strats, some really cool movement, some vicious Ridley fight, which with Plasma is definitely the least risky Ridley fight you'll see out of most categories. I have Spaniard 418 said, did someone say there's a YouTube special or something out there about Super Metroid? I was referencing Summoning Salt's videos of world record progression back when there was a big fight for the any percent progression, and it's like a half-hour documentary that kind of covers everything from Hoda Ruby to when Zos and Behemoth were going back and forth, and then Oates finished up with the record when it was set around somewhere like a 41. So it's pretty dated, but it's still really, really neat to watch. It's a really good, really well-made documentary.
Yeah, totally agree. Salt does a nice job with those. And a lot of love for those runners that sort of carved the way here in Super Metroid. And a lot of love for our current runners too. Please remember to go ahead and give them a follow if you have not. Really putting on quite a show for us here today.
I love that start to Lower Norfair there. Music starts very foreboding and then it kind of picks up and oh wow, Cutie's just gonna jump. Wasn't sure what strat he was gonna go for right there.
Yeah, that's another one of those rooms that has been the subject of a lot of debate and discussion recently over some of the optimizations and different versions of strats that you can use. And there's a typical strat that I think maybe you were expecting to see there, Kev, which is some getting that blue speed and going through with the space jump. But there's a couple different ways to attack that room now with some well-timed jumps and mock balls through some of those flame patterns.
That room that Cutie just did pre these missiles was pretty incredible. Really takes advantage of the uninterruptible animation, going from jump to a mock ball and then using the damage boost off and to push yourself forward. Again, conservation of momentum was something we had talked about earlier, and I think you'll see a lot of that in Lower Norfair.
All right, well, Cutie making his way through that GT fight, picking up Screw Attack, going to make that movement in Lower Norfair a whole lot easier. Going to be blowing through some of these walls, going to be taking out Space Pirates and Rippers with no problem. Definitely eases the motion through Lower Norfair.
I love how anticipatory Cutie is, just knowing where to fire off that super, and getting the charge ready for fast pillars. Just the awareness in every room, where the enemies are going to be, where to fire, so many visual cues. Cack Alley for Hero right now.
Yeah, let me take a minute to talk about Hero 82 here for just a second.
Please.
Yeah, this is so. I mean, he's a runner that's contributed a lot to the community. He's always helping people out with strats. His chat is a great place to hang out in his stream. Recently pushed down his time in any percent into the 46s. And I gotta say, the race that I'm seeing right here from Hero, we won't know for sure exactly what the gap is between these two runners until the routes reconverge. But what I've been seeing from him today has just been really stellar. The motion has been clean. There really haven't been any major mistakes. He's been hitting some really beautiful strats, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a nice big PB here from Hero today. I've been really impressed with the motion here.
I'll tell you what I'm impressed about is how many racers have been getting how many racers have been getting PBs in a race. A lot of times you see PBs coming from long grinds at home, but I think everybody in the race, starting from the qualifiers on, has gotten a PB at some point. Except for has Behemoth. Him setting the PB is setting a new world record. And I know Zenny and Zost have gotten pretty recent PBs, correct? Feels like everybody's getting PBs.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's pushing their times down. This tournament is doing exactly what I hoped it would. It's getting people engaged in the category. People are coming up with new strats. They're pushing times lower. And really my favorite part about Super Metroid here on Twitch is the community aspect. People are working together to push those times down, supporting each other. It's why I came here, and the community is the reason I'm going to stay.
I've had a lot of help. People will just drop by the stream, kind of take a look at what you're doing. One day I was just playing Hundo, and Tillamorph came in, and he's like, I said, "Hey, I'm on Mother Brain. I want to try stand up. How do I do this?" And he's like, "Well, you just do this, this, and this, and this." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome!" And I was able to successfully do it. And that was just, people pop in all the time to say good luck, or they'll stay to chat for a few minutes. And it's very helpful, and it makes it a really enjoyable to play, and it makes you feel like, we're all a part of this. It's really neat.
Yeah, absolutely. Blazing fast Ridley fight there for Cutie. I did not even have a chance to commentate on it at all. Cutie opting for a combination of that full beam combo and a little bit of super missiles peppered in there, doing enough super missile damage to speed the fight up just a little bit, but saving enough of those to ensure that he has enough super missiles for a fast Turian. Planning ahead, always thinking about how to save those frames.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game is anticipatory. If you don't know, if you're not paying attention to your ammo, you could have serious problems depending on which area of the game you're in. You know, even in, I mean, there's not too many problems with ammo when you're doing 100%. But again, like you said, to keep things speeding along, Cutie still wants to make sure he has enough super missiles to make a really fast Turian, which is coming up pretty fast. I mean, I'm just looking at the time right now, and usually around this time, I'm entering Shaq Tool's lair, and Cutie is already escaping from Lower Norfair. Firefly E-Tank. Alright, so this is a new strat I've seen recently. If Cutie gets the D boost off the Firefly, should be able to bounce onto the Frozen one. Ooh, so close. Little wall jump off the Frozen Flea and still really, really fast work in an awkward room.
Just missed it, but I really like that strat. That's actually one of my favorite ones. I tend to freeze that Firefly a little different. You can do it with the angle down shot that you saw Cutie do there. You can also do sort of an aim down shot when you're coming over top of that and fire through that claw of stone. Either way works, but when you get that D-boost onto that Firefly, it feels really good.
That is pretty neat, and it looked like Cutie was going for the Hoda Ruby special there and got pretty close, but didn't quite make it all the way up, but still very, very fast navigating through that tight area and get these power bombs over here, and then let's escape Lower Norfair and go to Bubble Mountain. The hero is making their way down to the lava dive. Good D-boost. I love that entrance right there.
Yeah, really nice boost. Hero now entering Lower Norfair. ARealCutie, of course, still needs to go down and take care of Croc, which Hero already did in the earlier part because of the differences in this route. And then after that, we'll actually get the routes converging, and we'll have a better sense of the time that's separating our runners here.
Now, if these two runners were running at the same speed, it would be at X-ray beam that they would converge. Is that correct?
Yeah, it would converge just a little bit before that. It depends a little bit on whether or not Cutie is able to acquire and store a spike suit coming out of Croc. That certainly will make a difference. But yeah, just about there, we'll have a real sense of where the two runners are in relationship to one another. And the movement from X-ray through the rest of the game should be consistent for both routes.
So I like the spring ball that Hero used to get these missiles up here, because it is very, very easy to, you know, screw up your space jump or just kind of fall down on that platform and then break through there, and then you have to walk all the way back around. Eats up a lot of time. So if you are able to spring ball off of there, the crumble blocks will not crumble, and you'll just bounce over them, be able to get those missiles pretty easy. Well, they'll crumble, but you won't fall through them.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to avoid that. Falling through there costs somewhere in the neighborhood of 65 to 70 seconds, depending on execution, coming back around. So definitely do not want to put yourself in a position where you're forced to have to make up over a minute in time.
That's the neighborhood of not worth it. Might as well take the slower strat and just bounce with the spring ball. 65 seconds is not worth saving one if you miss it.
Yeah, and it may be that the optimal time there for coming back around is a little lower, although calling that optimal is sort of hard to imagine, since it's certainly not optimal to fall through those crumble blocks in the first place. But I think we've seen it happen actually once to Zenny and once to Hoda Ruby recently, and I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 67 or 70 seconds, something like that.
Oh boy. I like that. Zos did the same thing in his round. You know, after firing that plasma, he did miss the first setup, but after firing the plasma, kind of jumping right over Croc. It's really neat.
Yeah, and that's certainly one of the big differences there between the early and late Croc. You're coming in here with that full beam combo, single shot, no problem, taking out Croc, not having to deal with any of that swipe RNG.
So here, Cutie's getting set up for that stored spark you were talking about. Spike suit here. Nope, not getting it.
Looks like you'll have
Maybe
one more chance.
So we won't be seeing the X-ray spark today. Well, I mean, it is possible that Hero could do that. Well, no, because he's not going back to the croc.
Yeah, he won't have a place to build that up.
Yeah, different route. But of course, as we, I was going to say, now Cutie has to pick up grapple beam and all the other items down here behind Croc, while Hero is making his way to the Ridley fight. So not too long till we'll find out what the gap is between the two racers. Chavo's saying, if no spike suit, nor for elevator is a good marker. Okay, definitely keep that in mind. Professor, what strategy do you use to take out the space pirates?
I go for the fast activation here. You can get a sub-7 room time if executed properly. There's a number of certain shots that you have to do to get those space pirates with that plasma beam combo. You need to make sure that you're hitting them, having that plasma combo hitting them more than once going through. So I do opt for that faster strat. It can be a little bit punishing if you screw it up, but it's really nice to get that sub-7 room time and fly into this Ridley fight.
So how long has that strat been around? Because, you know, a lot of times you see the Shine Spark kill, you know, to go pretty fast.
Oh boy, I have to tell you, I am doing my very best to study up and learn my Super Metroid history, appreciate where these stats came from, runners like Hoda Ruby, runners like Static, but I have to tell you, I could not tell you the origination. I'm going to have to defer to chat. A lot of folks in the chat right here, Chabo and some other experienced folks who are involved in the wiki and documenting a lot of these things, which I think is really important for the community to have that history. But I could not speak to that specific fast Metal Pirate strat.
Oh, that's all right. It looks like Azure says it's been a while. Chavo said Shine Spark is used mainly in PRKD because you don't have plasma, and that makes a lot of sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the wiki is really, really great. I've only discovered it back in April is when I started speedrunning this game, and the amount of information on there is so impressive and really, really helpful. So thank you everybody who's involved with that wiki, because this is, I'm just happy to have it. Cutie using the grapple beam on the doors opens the door a little bit faster. I love that spring ball strat. That is so cool.
As these routes get ready to converge here, just wanted to remind folks, we got a couple nice matchups coming up this weekend. We've got Nin Toaster and Hoda Ruby coming up tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern AM, and then later that evening at 6 p.m. Shiny Zenny and Zeb316. And then to close out the third round here and solidify our final 8, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have Aussie 101 versus Sloters 27. That should be a great matchup. So a lot of great 100% tournament runs coming up this weekend. We hope you all tune in for those and enjoy them.
Great thing too is if you happen to miss it on SpeedGaming or any of the SpeedGaming channels, you know, the videos there, they get put up on YouTube, and there's a whole bunch of them already. So if you haven't seen any of the earlier matches in this tournament, you should get yourself on YouTube, check those out, and look at the videos. If you missed, you know, yesterday's matches, you can still find them on SpeedGaming.
Yeah, and I would for sure go back, if nothing else. Holy cow, go watch that Kip MGA matchup from the other day. You yourself, Kev, said you watched it twice. Can't blame you for that. So nice you watched it twice. Tower Power too sweet to be sour. I'll tell you what, That was straight fire. That match was so good. I encourage everyone to go ahead and check that out if you have not yet. I will not spoil it for you. If you're just tuning in now and you're not aware of the result, go ahead and enjoy that matchup.
Yeah, that one got a whole lot of people talking. You know, it's and there have been a lot of close matches in this tournament, so it's been really, really neat. When was the last 100% tournament? Was it in 2016? I only know from just kind of, you know, trying to find Super Metroid videos online, and so it's been a while, I think, since the last Hundo tournament.
I think that is correct. Yeah, someone in chat can correct, but I think it was back in 2016. It's been a little bit of time. Yep, Astra confirming 2016.
Yeah, somebody said the Azulinat and Becky race was good, and that one, I definitely saw that one too, and I thought that was a super exciting race. So, let's see. We also said it was Zost and Behemoth in the finals in 2016. So Cutie is going to carry the Spark all the way up the elevator, Spike all the way through Old Mother Brain's room, and then use Screw Attack to drop down and get the missiles that are under Old Mother Brain's old tank. Hero is making his way out of Bubble Mountain. So what would you say the time gap is right now, Professor, if you had to take a guess?
Yeah,
Math is not my strong suit.
It looks like our runners are probably separated by somewhere around 3 minutes, maybe just a little bit over that. I think I remember Cutie grabbing that last missile pack coming out of Norfair, somewhere around just over a minute, an hour and 4 minutes, and Hero was there just somewhere in the hour and 7 minute mark.
So even though it seems like Hero's, you know, quite a ways behind, this is still an incredible run for Hero.
Undoubtedly, yeah. Like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if Hero is on PB pace now. Very, very few hiccups, and when they happen for Hero, he is able to come right back and clean up and continue moving. I've been really impressed by the movement here from Hero, highlighting a lot of the nice parts of this early croc route.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody getting majorly hung up at all. You know, the lowest health we saw in the early game, you know, Cutie had 9 going into Spiky Room of Death, but, you know, experience, I had no worries there. Hero's been able to keep good health and good, you know, no major errors. All the major snag points they got through with no problem. Cutie on the way to G4. My goodness. Under a 111 G4 time. $1:10.24 entering G4.
Yeah, certainly a very impressive time. We've seen Cutie pop up in the chat a couple times and say things like "look away." I think probably his own worst critic, not too happy with the run, and certainly there have been some places with some medium to large size hiccups there. But again, a 1:10 entry time into G4, incredibly impressive. Cutie handling this race very well, and all but assuring at this point a chance to go up into the next round and take on Oats and Goats, who won their match earlier today. Oats has been grinding this category now for a little bit, and I have to say I'm really going to be looking forward to that Cutie Oats and Goats matchup to decide one of those final 4 slots. That is going to be a really good one to tune into.
I happen to catch a little bit of Oats grind for the 114, and I believe there are only 4 racers with a 114, I believe. Has anybody else gotten a 114 besides Behemoth, Zost, Oats, and excuse me, and Zenny?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think the next closest there is probably Cutie, as far as those who are competing in this tournament right now. Cutie did start with a high 117 coming into this tournament, but has brought that time down considerably, and I think is working on achieving that 115 time now, which is really incredible.
So one thing I've noticed from all the top players is that they're not holding anything back, no matter who they're going up against, you know, and you know, it seems like they're just preparing themselves for that final match. It looks like, you know, all the top racers think that they're going to be in that Final Four match, and at least that's the impression I'm getting from the high quality of play that I'm seeing and the risky strats that they're going for, and just looks like just incredibly aggressive play.
Ooh, unfortunate there. Cutie getting grabbed by that.
That just reminded me. Oh, I don't want to spoil another match, but yeah, that's baby. The baby has ruined a couple paces, let's say.
Yeah, the baby does tend to do that. So unfortunate for Cutie there. It's about a 30-second time loss. But a very comfortable lead right now over Hero, despite Hero's very good play, and should be able to clean this up here. Meanwhile,
but again, you know, like I said, if you know, Cutie wants to be, you know, in the last race, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat Oates if you're missing the baby skip. So I'm sure he's beating himself up about that, and probably going to practice it a little bit in between now and then.
Oh, I love that standardized setup that Hero just used. Does that spark across the pit room and buffers that spin jump to get that screw attack through that one tile gap in the floor. I've said it a bunch of times on comms in this tournament. Heck, one tile gaps. They are just absolutely a thorn in my side, and I think a lot of runners. And I really love those standardized setups that you can use to bypass those a little bit more simply.
You know, that's another thing that if the community did not have an active Discord and didn't stay in touch with each other so much, it would take longer and longer for all these strats to be shared. The only time you'd really see them if you happen to catch a runner's stream or if you happen to watch a tournament match. But it's just really cool to, you know, real time connect with people and say, oh my goodness, check this out. Look at how I learned how to do this. Or, you know, oh, I see you're using this strategy. Have you ever thought about doing this? It's not that hard to learn. There's a really neat setup if you just practiced it a little bit. So the sharing of the wealth of knowledge in the community is something that is extraordinary to me, and the only reason I'm involved in it because it makes the game more fun. It, you know, it's really neat. Here we go with Stand Up for Cutie coming up. Well, Rainbow Beam first. So, and if we remember, Cutie took off the various suit before the gauntlet spark. Now he's got to damage himself down. I don't know if I would have gone as low as 6, but...
Oof, yeah, cutting it really close there.
Yeah.
Almost triggering that automatic reserves from kicking in. For those who aren't familiar, what you're actually seeing might look really weird on the screen. Samus kind of acting really strangely there, her sprite looking a little bit odd. This is a glitch where essentially you can avoid an obligatory part of this cutscene where Samus is forced into a crouched position and is required to wait in that crouched position until the baby is going to come and refill her health. And as you can see here, that is not happening. Cutie able to avoid that forced crouch by being off the ground at an appropriate time, and now is going to get refilled by the baby while also damaging down Mother Brain 3's health, significantly speeding up the back portion of this final boss fight of the game.
There are some possibilities to soft lock while you're doing stand-up glitch, but you know, less likely in a hundo than a category, say, like GT Classic. I think stand-up is significantly easier in the hundo. And if Cutie did a good stand-up, should be just a few shots on Mother Brain 3, and that's all she wrote. And Cutie will escape to the ship. Looks like, you know, what, a high 117 maybe?
Yeah, it's usually somewhere in the neighborhood of about a minute from the end of Mother Brain 3 to the ship. So something like that seems reasonable. Definitely a good time. In the meanwhile, I'm looking forward to seeing Hero's Metroid rooms here. Keep this really incredible run for him going. Getting through the first 2 rooms with a very healthy super count. No trouble in
about you,
room 3.
Professor Victorian is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really enjoy the intricacies that go into deciding on whether to be really aggressive in these Metroid rooms, whether to go for grouping strats, managing not health obviously in this category, but certainly super missile ammo for that Mother Brain fight. Nice Metroid rooms for Hero. Just a little bit of a hiccup in room 2, but otherwise looked very clean. And now as Cutie is finishing up, preparing for this final spark up the climb room. There you go, nicely executed Behe Spark. You'll see on the right side of your screen, Hero will be going for that baby skip. See if he can pull this off.
As Cutie makes his way to the ship and Hero is going for baby skip, I'm really hoping Hero has a really solid pace and can get that PB. And there goes Cutie, GG Cutie.
Yeah, GG
SRL,
Cutie.
117.55.
And a successful baby skip for Hero. That is going to, actually do not know if his PB had baby skip or not, but I think at the pace that he's playing, it's either going to put him well ahead of PB or at least keep him very close.
Here we go, we have that spring ball Zeb skip. I like that. That's pretty neat for those that don't want to menu off the screw attack and maybe are not, familiar with the down back skip or don't like the down back skip. So spring ball 1 works pretty well. And down goes Mother Brain 1. Come on, Hero. Let's get a PB.
Yeah, Kevin, I'll say for those who were thinking about using Spring Ball Zeb Skip there, it is definitely better to use that Spring Ball Zeb Skip than to menu off Screw Attack. That going through that menu is really a problem and can actually make the escape a little bit more difficult without Screw Attack on some of the issues with those pirates.
Yeah, I've definitely been knocked down that pirate shaft many times because I had disabled Screw Attack and I just wasn't, either forgot about it or wasn't ready for it. Mother Brain is being feisty here with the onion rings.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sometimes, the RNG in a Mother Brain fight, that can actually have a really big, that can be a big time loss for people too, because I've had Mother Brain fights where she does basically nothing, until the catch up, and then other fights she just tosses out those onion rings like crazy.
Hero just having a little bit of fun here. Caught in the floor, no problem, bombs out of it, playing around with the grapple beam, and waiting for Mother Brain to change colors down here, get forced into her own crouch pose, and can initiate getting those charged plasma shots in to speed up this Mother Brain 3 phase. As we get close to wrapping this one up, let's just remind folks to follow those runners. And I'm sure we can go ahead and follow Kev as well, one of our commentators here, Kev Nastics, also a Super Metroid runner. So just go ahead and throw those folks a follow and give them some love in their chat. Always like to build that community.
Sounds good. I always like to follow anybody that follows me just out of courtesy, Every once in a while I like to drop by people's stream if I have a chance. It's always nice to have something to watch, and if it's Super Metroid, it's even more exciting. Oh wow. One shot and down she goes. Nice job, Hero. Great stand-up. So we're awaiting Cutie's 100% confirmation, which should come up pretty soon. I highly doubt Cutie missed anything. I did not see anything.
There it is, confirmed, 100%. GG on that first place run, Cutie. We'll be moving on to play Oats and Goats, and I think a very anticipated semifinals matchup to see who will get one of those 4 coveted spots in that final 4 race.
So Hero looks like he's going to be getting a 122, and do we know if that's an official PB?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm just actually I'm just checking in on Hero's stream. It looks like a really big PB. We'll see if we can get him in for a second here. Yeah, he was ahead by about 55 seconds at Mother Brain 1 on his last split. So we'll see what the final split is here as he comes into the ship. Yeah, GG to Hero here, finishing with an SRL official time of 1:24:07, improving their personal best SRL time by a whole minute and 19 seconds. GG's Hero, what a race.
Yeah, GG guys, really incredible show. Just great movement, and no major errors, choke points. What an absolute pleasure to watch. And Professor, thank you for jumping on comms with me. I'm pretty new, and it was nice to not have to do the commentary by myself. So Professor School was a late join with us, and very happy to have you. It was really just great information, and what a pleasure.
For sure, it was a pleasure to comms with you as well. Let's just see whether or not we're going to get Hero in. It looks like we are going to have him joining us just for a moment on commentary for a short interview while we wait for confirmation of 100% here on his race.
Yeah, I hope he got 100%. I'm sure he'd like to take home a good PB. If you're going to be beat, you're going to be out of the tournament. You might as well go out in style, and a 1:22:46. That's nothing to scoff at. That's a pretty massive time.
Yes, I'll do just one last little go here. Remind people that we have coming up the rest of this weekend some fantastic races. We've got Nintoaster versus Hodarubi tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, followed by Shiny Zenny versus Zeb316 at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, we've got our final round match of round 3, Aussie 101 versus Sloters 27.
These matches are heating up. I think each one is going to get better than the last one, because when we get closer to the top 4, the racers' PB times and are getting closer and closer together. So you can expect that over the next couple weeks, we're going to see closer and closer, more exciting matches. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to tune in for more.
All right, and joining us now live on the air, Hero 82. Looks like a big fat PB for you, Hero. Can you confirm?
I can confirm, and I will confirm that it is in fact a PB shortly.
Well, GG's
awesome.
GG's on a great race. I was super impressed by a lot of your movement and some of those strats you were pulling off today. I thought the run really went well. Can you talk a little bit about it? How'd you feel about the run today?
It's kind of weird. I was like, it was all over the place. Like, I was as far ahead as almost 40 seconds in some places, and then I got to ice and I was almost 30 seconds ahead, and then between ice and screw attack I lost 30 seconds just because of missing the fireball, like blue fireball, and then the GT fight was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's amazing that you can lose that much time. Oh, and I missed like the space jumps through the acid snakes room. Like, just missing a couple strats between your PB and like a race, you can lose 30 seconds in a 2-minute span. It's kind of crazy. But
I just think that's kind of nice too to know that, because you got a PB and you know you have those mistakes, so that's what keeps you chasing a lower and lower time, because you know you can do it.
yeah, it's just 100%. They say it's like death by 1,000 cuts, and that is 100% correct.
Yeah, well, you survived all of those today. You had obviously a tall task in front of you with one of the favorites in the tournament, Cutie. But we're getting confirmation now here on Speed Gaming 2, 100% item collection and almost a full minute PB. So that's a huge effort, and we're really happy to see the great result for you today, Hero. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing about my 100% PB, my 123 before this, was I missed Baby Skip in Tyrion, and I don't think I crystal flashed at Mother Brain, so I had like loads of time in Tyrion to save. So I got to G4 at -15, and I was like, well, if I have the exact same Tyrion as before, it'll be a PB, and if I get Baby Skip, it'll be a huge PB. So it turned out that it was a pretty big PB.
That's great, Hero. So what's next for you in Super Metroid? Are you going to continue to drop your time in Hundo, or are you off to another category?
I think that I will probably... well, there's the Any Percent tournament in November, which I don't have, astronomically high aspirations for, because I think I'm matched up against Oats and Goats, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round. So
nice.
I will try to put on a show, but that's about it. But I think as far as what I'll do personally, I think I'll probably get back into RBO, or I might run either low percent speed or low percent X-ray ice, or I guess it would be gravity X-ray ice, or whatever you want to call it.
Those are very exciting categories, and I definitely wish you luck in the end. Wish you luck with your other categories, and just thank you for putting on a really good show for everybody. And I tend to race a lot of people who are better than me, and it always makes me want to work a little bit harder on my game, so that hopefully I can be a racer in a tournament one day. So y'all inspire me. Thank you very much. It was an honor to commentate this match.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys, and I appreciate the admins that put this on, and the people that I got to race, and qualifiers. The qualifying process was a blast. I thought it was really I don't want to say it wasn't unique at it's never been done before, but it's something that we're not used to. We're used to just all being thrown into a massive bracket and then just sorting it out. But this was a really cool qualifying method that we did, and I hope we stick with it, because it was really fun. And then everybody who's raced so far, and the commentators have all been great. And yeah, and
awesome. Well, we thank you so much for your efforts today. It was a great race. We wish you luck in the future, and I think with that we're gonna call it a night, and remind everyone to tune in to Speed Gaming for the next couple days. We got some great races ahead of us. So GG's again to you, Hero, and we'll see you in the future in one of those next tournaments.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. A really exciting race, a nice job done by both of our runners, and we will see you coming up real soon. Wanted to thank my co-commentator here, Kev Nastix, for a great job on commentary. GG to you, sir. And if you have anything to leave us with...
Great job to you too, Professor. It was an absolute pleasure.
All right. All righty, folks. Take care, stay safe, have a good evening, and we will see you next mission.